Well, my name is Robert Kennedy. I have been living in the States now for 17 years, but as you can tell, I'm probably not from here. London is my home. I worked for 18 years for Hilton Hotels internationally in London, and I was the head of design and construction. I spotted this house on Zillow and fell in love with the amount of acreage that it has and the fact that it had a house that was ready to move into. So my son, his wife, and their little girl, and my wife and I sold our houses in Elk Grove and decided to purchase this one with the intention of building an ADU. We then started the journey of looking online for an ADU builder, which wasn't difficult to find. There were a lot of them. They all panned out and all ended up either too difficult or too expensive. So we chose James and West Coast Construction Pro because first of all, we liked the guys. Second of all, the pricing was fair and honest. And third of all, they could start almost immediately. It met all of our wishes and desires, so off we went. I don't think we can single out any particular thing or experience that we've had during this construction period. It has just run from day one to day 58, which is when they finished, and that's contractors on site, as smoothly as any project could be. And that can only be done with sound project management and sound subcontractors. If it isn't that way, it would never work out. Well, our first consideration was speed. We wanted this house built quickly because whilst I loved my son and his wife, living with them for a year was a challenge. He moved out 18 years ago and I prefer to keep it that way. So we needed to get something built hastily, but not sloppily. In fact, James's company, West Coast Construction Pro, were the first company that we spoke to. And we then went and looked at 3 or 4 others, most of which were nowhere near in price, timeline, or personality. James and his guys are easy to work with. They appear to be honest, and it's proven that they are. So we were very happy to engage the contract with West Coast Construction Pro. When you engage in a build project, you think you know everything. You think you know where you want every light switch and outlet. You think you know where you want every door and door frame. Trust me, you don't. And the flexibility of James, his crew, the project team, has enabled us to make sure that the things we didn't know we want were achievable. The biggest challenge of all was communication. We couldn't get a company to nail down what it was going to cost us to build an ADU. With any contractor, you can do as much advertising as you like and you can do all the projects. But unless you have somebody who's quite prepared to stand up and say, these guys are the real business. They will treat you fairly. They know what they're doing. They're honest and upfront about costs and timelines. Like I said, I was with Hilton for a number of years. I built Hilton Hotels all around the world in places where there are no specifications, construction requirements. So I've had experiences with contractors and subcontractors, most of which have been an absolute nightmare. I can honestly say, hand on heart, that this project has been the smoothest project I've ever been associated with. I would recommend this company to anybody at any time and put my name on the line. Without a doubt. The subcontractors used were able-bodied, they knew exactly what they were doing, and they were quick and polite. And in the end, the result that you see or will see around you exemplifies the fact that I don't think it could have been done any better than the way it has been done. And my wife and I are absolutely ecstatic. We're over the moon with the end result.